This video covers the last part of section 5.3, example 6. Now we're to use the unit circle to find the exact values of x when we're in a certain interval from negative pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2 that satisfy this equation. So where are we talking about our interval being? Here's negative pi over 2 here, so this is where we start, right? And we're going to go 3 pi's over 2. So there's 1 pi over 2, that 90 degrees, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. So we're just going from here all the way around to here. All right, so we're looking for where the tan of x is the square root of 3. It is, that's a positive number. Where is the tangent positive? Let's remind ourselves about that. It's all are positive here. Only the sine and the cosecant are positive there. Tangent's positive here and cotan. And only the cosine and secant are positive here. So where's the tan positive? In 1 and 3. So where do we see, now we have to calculate the tan to figure out which one's going to be this positive square root of 3, but it has to be sine over cosine y over x. Well, there is, we do have square root of 3 over 2 as a possible numerator, and that happens at pi over 3. So if we had square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2, what would happen? We'd end up with square root of 3, so it happens when x is at pi over 3. And where's that going to happen again? Well, here, where they're both negative, we'll get a positive, right? And it's going to happen again when the y-coordinate has a negative, the square root of 3 over 2, right? So that happens at 4 pi over 3. Okay, we're just trying to figure out when the sine over the cosine is going to give us square root of 3. Now, where is the tangent of x? Negative 1 over the square root of 3. That's nice they've left it like that, so we should be able to figure this out. Instead of rationalizing the denominator, they didn't this time. Now, where's the tan negative? Tan is negative in the second quadrant and in the fourth quadrant, but we weren't really supposed to consider the fourth quadrant, I don't think. So we just go to where? Where do we see this? So now our square root of 3 is going to be in the denominator, and that's cosine. So where does a cosine have a square root of 3 in it? We see it there at where we have to be. We have to be in the second quadrant where the tan is negative and the cosine is square root of 3. So would that be 5 pi over 6? It's going to happen there. But where else? Well, we're going from negative pi over 2 and going around to 3 pi over 2. So do we hit another place where that happens? And if I think what they mean by that negative, we're going from negative pi over 2, if we go negative pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2, that's adding a pi, so that's all the way around. We start here, negative pi over 2 plus 2, the 2 pi, we end up at 3 pi over 2. So it's all the way around, so where would we have, it would be here at our, where we have the cosine, sine over cosine. The cosine has the square root of 3 in it, and that is for our 11 pi over 6, but we're going this direction, so that's negative pi over 6 right there. So also at negative pi over 6, that would occur. So as we're going to negative pi over 2, or negative pi over 2, all the way around, we're at negative pi over 6. You could think of going there first and then this one. Okay, so now you're complete. Use the unit circle. The instructions will say to use the graph. Do not use the graph for the homework assignment.